Hello students, good morning. I welcome to Trinity Metric online classes. Today we have discussed about for 10th standard botany. 10th standard botany, the unit is plant anatomy. Unit is plant anatomy. What do you mean by anatomy? So study about the internal structure of the organism, both plants and animals called anatomy. In this chapter, we have discussed about internal structure of monocot root. I think already you learned about in previous classes internal structure of dicot root. For this one, monocot root. For example, geomaize. For example, geomaize. For Tamil name, makacholam. Tamil name, makacholam. So in this plant, we have to cut the following layer. This one, first one, rhizodermis, then cortex, then endodermis, then stele. So rhizodermis means the outermost layer of the root is called a rhizodermis. It is also called epiblema. Also called epiblema. In the outerverse, rhizodermis project many for epidermal outgrowth. This is called root hairs. Generally, root hairs is always unicellular. Always unicellular. In for rhizodermis, also known as epiblema, made up of single layer, barrel-shaped parenchymatous without intercellular space. Okay. Then below rhizodermis, made up of the mass of for cells called cortex. So cortex made up of parenchyma cells. Made up of parenchyma cells. Then below endodermis, then vascular bundle, then for pith. See that. The first one rhizodermis, the second one cortex. Cortex made up of one kind of cell, that is the for homogeneous nature. What is that? Homogeneous nature. Then below the cortex or the innermost layer of the cortex called endodermis, whereas outermost layer of the cortex called rhizodermis. Below the endodermis, even endodermis also made up of single layer parenchymatous without intercellular spaces. In for endodermis cells, the possess the two kinds of cells, namely passage cell and Casparian stiff. See that this one passage cell, this one passage cell is seen to be the opposite to the protozoalum element. What is the role? To passage the water from cortex to the vascular bundle. Then next one Casparian stiff, this one for Casparian stiff. This one Casparian stiff. For Casparian stiff absent in passage cell. So this one Casparian stiff. These stiffs are noticed by Caspari. The scientist name is Caspari. What is the role of Casparian stiff? To prevent once water enter into the vascular bundle, to prevent re-entry of the water once water enter from cortex to the vascular bundle. Then next one pericycle. In below endodermis lies the below layer called a pericycle. See that another layer stele. See that stele. Stele consists of the three layer pericycle, vascular bundle, pith. What is stele? Stele means all the tissue inner to the endodermis called stele. What is that? All the tissues inner to the endodermis called for stele. Consists of three layer pericycle, vascular bundle, pith. So pericycle one of the outermost layer of the stele. Then second one vascular bundle consists of both xylem and phloem. Third one pith. Then pericycle also made up of single layer and parenchymatous cell without intercellular space. Then vascular bundle both xylem and phloem having. Then pith made up of the parenchymatous tissues. See that the vascular bundle generally in for monocot root exarch and polyarch. Exarch and polyarch. Exarch means what? Already even stem means even for end arch, otherwise for root is the exarch. Exarch means, see that picture, this one protozoalum cells, this one metazoalum cells. See the protozoalum cells towards grow near the periphery. Periphery means outer region, whereas metazoalum cells grow towards the center or pith of the region called for that exarch. And polyarch, poly means many. See that many arches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More than 7. That is the many arch. So poly means many, arch means for that even xylem and for element. That is the polyarch. Many for xylem element having. Generally for even dicot root, monocot root almost same except vascular tissue. So the in vascular tissue having the few for difference. See that This one dicot root, this one monocot. Difference between dicot and monocot root of the vascular bundle. See the xylem. In dicot root, xylem having tetrarch. Tetrarch means having 4. For that 4 vascular bundle having and 4 arch. Then polyarch means many arches. In for first one dicot root for tetrarchy, whereas monocot root has the polyarch. Then cambium tissue is present in for dicot root, whereas absent in monocot root. Next one, secondary growth also present in dicot root. Which one? Then opposite to the for monocot root is the absent. Secondary growth is the absent. Then pith is also absent in for dicot root and present in the monocot root. These are all major difference for the vascular tissue. Then almost everything is same. Okay, next chapter is the dicot stem. We can discuss about dicot stem. For example, Helianthus annus. For example, Helianthus annus. For Tamil name Surya Gandhi. This is also TS of consist of the then epidermis and even endodermis, cortex. First epidermis, cortex, endodermis, vascular bundle, etc., etc. See that the outermost layer of the stem is made up of the epidermis. What is that? Epidermis. Then having the epidermal outgrowth, that is the stem hair is always multicellular, whereas root hair already told is always unicellular. Then stem hair is always multicellular epidermal outgrowth occur. Then in this for epidermal layer the possess even stomata, chlorophyll, everything occur. In below the epidermis having the mass of cortex, especially here the cortex made up of 3 zone. Cortex made up of 3 zone, or it is one of the heterogeneous nature. What is that? Heterogeneous nature. So the cortex made up of 3 zone, namely outer cortex, or it may be called hypodermis. Then second one middle cortex, then third one innermost cortex. Then outer cortex or hypodermis. Then hypodermis made up of colon-chyma cell. What is that? Colon-chyma. So outer colon-chyma, middle colon-chyma, inner parenchyma. So that only heterogeneous nature. Whereas then for even root, so the cortex fully made up of the homogeneous. Here the cortex made up of heterogeneous nature. So the outer made of hypodermis made up of colon-chyma cells. So colon-chyma cells made up of even for without intercellular space. Then below or middle cortex made up of the even chlorenchyma cells. So chlorenchyma cells possess the chloroplast. For chloroplast to carry out photosynthesis process. Even for this layer resin duct also occur. Resin duct means even resin canal also occur for this layer. The next one inner cortex. Inner cortex made up of a mass of parenchymatous tissue. Here, so storage of the water and food material, even exchange of gases also. See below, so the inner to the cortex is called endodermis. Then outermost cortex called epidermis. Then innermost cortex called endodermis. Then endodermis lies below the layer called pericycle. Even endodermis also here single layer made up of single layer balance shaped without intercellular space made up of parenchymatous tissue. Then below endodermis called this one see that this layer is the pericycle. Then below pericycle, so that the vascular bundle, then even pith cell. Even here this fully as steel. This one for steel. Steel made up of 3 zone already told. So outer pericycle, this one pericycle and vascular bundle, even pith. Then pericycle having the thin layer made up of parenchyma cells. Then vascular bundle, here for that vascular bundle, then for even possess conjoined collateral endarch and open. Conjoined collateral endarch and open. Conjoined means both xylem and phloem is seen to be the same bundle, that is called a conjoined. The next one collateral. Collateral means see the picture, this one for phloem, this one xylem. So phloem is to be the some outermost layer of the bundle called even for What is that? Collateral. What is that? Collateral. So phloem seen to be the outermost layer of bundle called collateral. The next one end arch. So always stem is a end arch. Stem is a end arch. See that this one metaxylem cells, this one protoxylem cells. Then metaxylem cells is always grow towards the periphery, while protoxylem cells towards grow the pith. This is called a for end arch. Whereas all kinds of root, both monocot, dicot is the X arch. And all kinds of cell, both monocot, dicot is the end arch. Next one open. Next one open vascular. Open means this one cambium tissue, phloem, xylem. Cambium seen in between xylem and phloem. Xylem, so that is called open vascular. Whereas closed means a cambium cells totally absent. That is called closed. This one cambium seen in between phloem and xylem called, this is called open vascular bundle. So the vascular bundle is the conjoined, collateral, even end arch and open. Here the vascular is the special type of the U stele process. U stele means so the vascular bundle arranged in a pith around, the ring around, this is the vascular bundle arranged in a ring around pith is called U stele, isn't it? So the U stele means the vascular bundle arranged in the form of ring around pith cell called U stele. Then next one pith. So pith is the center region of the stem. So see that this one for the pith cell. Pith is a possess the center region of the stem. So what is the role of the pith? So pith is a made up of the parenchymatous cells and stored as the water, even food material, even exchange of gases also. This is of the dicot stem, internal structure of the dicot stem. For example, helianther. See that generally for layer, first one epidermis, then cortex, then this one endodermis, then vascular bundle, pith. These and all for major differences. Okay students, for next class we have to discuss about then monocot stem and difference between even dicot and monocot stem. Okay students, thank you very much.